So there's a typical graph. If you look at business value as a vertical function, and you look at time, what happens a lot is that when companies are getting started, they want to build what they think is right. I mean, focus on building this. What ends up happening is they spend a lot of time, and then they get to this point where they finally learn something. This is your validated learning. And at that point, now they can pivot and go after business value. The problem is, look how long it is before you get to that point. A successful strategy is going to get to that point sooner. You're not going to spend as much time and money and whatever else your burn rate is. So you want to get to that sooner. So the graph that we like to follow is this one. Okay, here's your business value. Here's your time. Okay, and then at the beginning, you have these validated learning experiments. You are paying for this. I mean, you're paying time, you're paying money, but you're literally paying for these experiments. So you've got these short little corrections at the outset. But here, at this point, which is much earlier than here, now I should be able to deliver some business value. Okay, and then on as I learn more, I'm starting to, over time, increase my business value. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I kind of feel like so there's this world of validated learning, and then there's this world of creating business value. And if we want to go from this validated learning to business value, where's the plan? Like, where's the bridge in between? I've been reading a lot about this lean startup stuff, and I kind of feel like the bridge between the learning and the business value is this thing that I've read about called the MVP. Has anybody else heard about this?
That's like most valuable player, right?
Yes, I constantly get that award.
Wait, what's this?
Minimum viable product.
Minimum viable product.
I don't know. Does that sound right? I don't
So,
Never heard of that.
minimum, that word scares me because, like, how do I build something that's a product that I put in the hands of users that might potentially have some not the best user experience or not fully featured, or it doesn't have everything that I am promising them that it'll have at the end? What's going to make them believe in me enough to stick with this minimum viable product that's kind of my experiment or my scrappy version? So for example, there's a lot of services that I've either subscribed to or it was a new thing and I was all excited about the potential of what it could help me solve in my day-to-day, just in my life. I go in and I use it and it's kind of a really bad user experience or it's clunky or whatever, and I just leave. So how do I not lose people with this minimum viable product so that I'm sure that they'll come back for the whole service that I actually am promising them with my business idea or my business model? And that's where I get stuck. Like, how do I do these experiments without losing people?
Right now? No, I don't think that's right, because I've just seen far too many companies that they think they're building an MVP. What they're doing is they're doing this extended development effort to get it just right. They think that there's some magic moment, somewhere down the road, after burning through a lot of funds, that this is the place now where we're going to get it. Okay? Can I give you a couple examples?
Yeah.
All right. So there's a company called MyManual. How many of you have ever heard of MyManual? Anybody? There's a reason why you've never heard of it. It doesn't exist anymore. Okay? MyManual, their great idea was that what they were going to do is they were going to give consumers, such as us, easy access to manuals for home theater equipment, which if you've ever set up home theater equipment, this stuff can be pretty complicated. I know this because I was actually in that business for a while. Built software that would generate automatically these diagrams. It was a lot of work. What was interesting about this company is that they needed to have a minimum viable product that was a technical solution. Okay? They had to have an application running. The founder knew he had to have it. So he spent a year burning through 3 different developers and all the associated money with that, and they still didn't have a product at the end of the year. Finally, at that point, he said, okay, well, I still believe in this. I'm going to go take this on myself. He didn't have the requisite technical skills to actually, build a product, whatever product he was trying to build. And after 6 months, he finally realized, I can't afford to do this anymore. Okay, ran out of money. They didn't have any paths, there still wasn't a clear path to revenue, and they didn't have a product after a year and a half. Okay, I've seen far too many MVPs that they build too much. They're not focused on what exactly we need to do to build improve our business model. Now, counterexample, because we don't want to leave with just doom and gloom out here. How many of you heard of Fashion Metric? If you've ever watched the Lean Startup Conference last year, I think it was last year, they had a presentation on this. Lean Start, this fashion metric company, did a fantastic job of building their MVP without a lot of investment. What they did was, their original business idea was to go and be a concierge for primarily women shopping. Like, does this purse match my outfit? Or, what are the right shoes that I should be thinking of for this year? Well, when they finally actually did some research to validate learning, they found that there wasn't a lot of people that were actually interested in the service. But interestingly enough, they also happened to talk to the guys that were hanging around, lurking in the stores, waiting for their wives to finish whatever shopping they're doing. And the guys started talking about their problems. One of which is, it's really hard for men to get custom fitted shirts that fit just right. We don't take the time to get measurements and everything else. We don't do that, right? So what they realized, there's an opportunity here for them to provide that concierge service to men that want to have good-looking, fashionable shirts, but they don't want to go through the process of getting them to fit just right for body size. So they built their MVP, but their MVP was a website that was literally a static. It generated static. Okay? And you fill in all the fields and look like a real application, but it took them like 2 days to build it out, and it didn't require any back-end development. When they finished and actually launched with this, they started generating revenue. I think they were at the $300,000 to $400,000 revenue range before they started building anything on the back end at all. They were in business and they were generating revenue. And it's a lot easier for you to get that investment into the back end technology for scaling when you really have revenue. So I'd say that's a success story in that area.